First of all, I will start by saying this. Love is a beautiful thing. Marriage is not a beautiful thing. Marriage is a meaningful thing. People think marriage is beautiful. Marriage is not beautiful. Love is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a meaningful thing. Marriage is not for those who are seeking for happiness. Marriage is for those who are seeking for meaning. A successful marriage does not mean a marriage where both people are happy or are always happy. A successful marriage is those who have found meaning to why they are joined together, journey of their life together. And one of my advice is that any man who wants to get married, because number one, you have to understand that you are going to be a leader. And a leader, the description of a leader today is someone who perseveres a lot. Someone who cannot even take certain actions because you want to be, because you're sending a message to those who are coming after you, and because of that, you have to be conscious and aware of what you say to your spouse, how you act with your spouse. But I would advise men, if you want to get married, if you don't have this particular thing I'm about to talk about, don't get married. Which is, if you are a man and you don't have a cave, don't get married. If you are a man that don't have a cave where if there's disagreement between you and your spouse, that you can go to this particular place and hide out your head, do not get married. No pastor, no philosopher, no prophet should tell you otherwise. If you have a house, build another cave where you can go there whenever things are not going fine in your relationship, or even when things are going fine in your relationship. As a man, you need a place where you can go and reflect, where no one is going to disturb your thoughts, your thinking process, where even if you are upset, you can have time to dissect everything that have happened, get back your sanity before you come back to your relationship. Or else you are going to have situations like Emeka Hike. You are going to have situations like most celebrities, because the union of two people does not mean there shouldn't be a way for them to to create a bit distance where one person has to work upon themselves, and the leader is the one who has that duty. Now, for those people who cannot afford or buy a house, what should you do? If you have a friend, if you have a gathering of crew or people who you know that if me and my spouse we are having issue, I can go to this person's house and stay with this person for a while, a day or two, or maybe 3 hours or 6 hours, to clear off everything in your brain before you go back home. If you don't have it, now you have a problem. So I have given you two options. If you don't have more, if you have a house, build another house where you can stay alone, or if you don't, get friends who can give you their space where you can hide, or go to an hotel if you can afford it. Because one of the things people tell you, and one of the biggest lies in marriages, they tell you that whenever you and your wife, your spouse, you are having problem, you must be able to settle it among yourself. You see, all these things are suitable in words when they have not come to reality. When emotions have not come in place, it's easy for you to give me all kinds of information, all kinds of learning, and it looks as if I really buy into what you're saying until I become very emotional. Then every knowledge you have goes off the window. But remember this, every action you take, you are going to be responsible for it. There are laws, there are things you also have to understand, that the person who stays with you comes from a family. You have to respect that person's family. But when emotions are high, sometimes you can't think, regardless of if you are a pastor or not, regardless of if you are a man of God, regardless of your philosophy. Now, age has an experience where you'll be able to fight all these things. And let me make this also clear. Some men has the ability to withstand. Because I always say a successful marriage is one who he and the spouse, or the spouse, whatever, the wife and the husband, knows how to resolve conflict without a third party, or are good at resolving whatever conflict they have. Besides, they have to be respect in that relationship. But if two people always know how to resolve their conflict no matter what, then it's not those who avoid misunderstanding. It's not those who avoid conflict. Those who avoid conflict, I don't see that as a successful marriage, because the moment there's conflict, everything goes out the window. You can't protect enough of yourself not having disagreement with someone. You can't protect yourself of not having disagreement with your child, with someone you love. But what you can do is you can create a platform, you can create an environment that is suitable, that even when you want to fight, you can always go to a safer place. This is the reason, if you look at it, not hypothetically speaking, but if you look at it structurally or logically, you will observe that when boxers want to fight, they have gloves on their hand. They have to fight within a perimeter of ring. The same thing applicable to wrestlers. The same thing if you want to fight all these battles. A battle that there is no more rules and regulation, then everything goes chaotic. Let me tell you something. Even in war, there's what we call, when you're fighting, there's what we call not shooting to children. There's still that law, war crime. If you shoot at children, if you shoot at civilians, it is called war crime. Even at war, people still respect children. People still respect civilians. So what am I trying to pass across? It is that regardless of the battle people fight, there must be rules. There must be an environment for battle. Anyone who goes into a marriage without creating an environment for love and the environment for the days of battle, because there are seasons, if you can't create it, you are bound to fail. So what is my bone of contention to round up everything? Any man who wants to get married, create a cave for yourself. Create a structure of a cave for yourself and find a way to resolve conflict. Know how to resolve conflict. Now, there's a possibility, because of testosterone and the things that are going on in your bodies, possibly you might not even want to be able to. You might not have the grace to be able to handle every aspect of your emotions, but you must know how to create a distance between the conflict that is going on between you and your spouse. And the moment you can do that, you can always find meaning, or marriage would always be meaningful to you. Because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, this trouble we are going through, or this disagreements we are going through, this conflict that is going on, is it what decides our marriage? But you can't be in the battle with that person and think that same thing, because tensions are high. We are humans. They tell us we're educated. They tell us we are knowledgeable. They tell us we're 21st, 23rd centuries. But those things doesn't mean anything the moment emotion kicks in. We are not different from our ancestors. We are who we are. We can only, the moment we admit that we are what we are who we are, and we know exactly what we are and who we are, then we are not going to deny ourselves that we are humans. Rather, we will be able to find progress. But when you deny yourself and you say, I'm a man of God, I'm this, I'm that, I can overcome all conflict and all of that, simply because of you are in the sweet time of the marriage, oh boy, you don't know what is going on. So let me say this: if you haven't subscribed to my channel, like, share, make comments. If you think you agree with what I say, if you disagree, let me know. Have a blessed day. See you in my next video. Adios, amigos.